Hello friends, welcome back to the part 2 of this session for numericals of effects of electric current. So in the earlier lecture, we had solved the solved problems in your textbook from the chapter effects of electric current. Now, in this particular video, we are going to solve the unsolved problems that are in your exercises. Okay? So without wasting time, let's start. So in the last video, I've already explained you these formula and required and where to use which formula in detail. Now we'll start solving the exercise problems. So the first problem in your exercise says heat energy is being produced in a resistance in a circuit at a rate of 100 watt. The current of 3 ampere is flowing in the circuit. What must be the value of resistance? Now, as you read the problem, try to note down the given part. Okay, so what will be the given part? Let's read the problem again. Heat energy is being produced in a resistance in a circuit at the rate of 100 watt, which means if my unit is watt, that means my given part is nothing but power. So power is equal to 100 watt. Fine. Now the next part, the current of 3 ampere. So I is equal to 3 ampere is flowing through the circuit. What must be the resistance? So to find will be resistance is equal to what? Now let's have a look at these formulae. Now what do you have with you? Power and current. What do we have to find? Resistance. Find what is the given part and what do you have to find and relate it to the formulas in this list. You have power with you, you have current with you. So P, I and R, which has to be there in the formula. So P, I and R, and this is the formula I found out where I have P with me, I have I with me, and I have to find the resistance. So adjusting this formula as per my requirement will satisfy the need of the problem and I can find my R. So let's write down this formula. Formula is P is equal to I square R. So how can I modify this formula? R is equal to P divided by I square. P divided by I square. So what is my P now? P is my 100 and I square 3 square, that is supposed to be 100 divided by 9. So what do you have to do? In your rough work column, you will solve this. What is this? So it has to be 9 ones are 9, 1 0, again 9 ones are 9, 1 0. So this is recurring 11.11. So it is approximately, actually it is 11.11 ohms, but you can write it approximately as 11 ohms. So your R is 11 ohms and your answer you will write the value of the resistance will be of the resistance will be 11 ohms. Fine. Now let's move on to our next formula. The next sum. So what does it say? Two tungsten bulbs of wattage 100 watt and 60 watt power work on 220 potential difference. 220 volt potential difference. If they are connected in parallel, how much of current will flow in the main conductor? Now this problem is to be understood very deeply. So we'll start slowly and you will understand it, don't worry. So first let's write down what is given. So given part will be, you have two powers with you, wattage, or the given thing is in watts, and they also given power. So this is power, two powers. So let's name the first one as P1, the next one is P2. So P1 is equal to 100 watt, P2 is equal to 60 watt. Done. Now they work on 220 volt potential difference. Now potential difference is nothing but voltage. So let me write down voltage, that is V is equal to 220 volt. Fine. Now if they are connected in parallel, now when you read this line, if they are connected in parallel, this means that there is something which is related to the resistance, because if they have asked you that if they are connected in parallel, or they have given you that these two bulbs, tungsten bulbs, are connected in parallel, means that they'll start producing some resistance, obviously. So connected in parallel, and what is the formula for the resistance which is connected in parallel? That's nothing but this, Re required, that is equal to R1 into R2 upon R1 plus R2. Now for that, again let's look at the formula. For that, what do you require? R1, and also what do you require? R2. Now how will you get this R1 and R2 with you? Now how will you find R1? So what is the formula to find R when you have P and V with you? You have to search for that formula. Fine. So P and V is there with me, and I also have to find R. P and V is there with me, and I have to find R. Means this is the formula I need to use. So let's write down this formula. Formula is what? P is equal to V square by R. So first I have to find what? R. So how will I modify this formula? This will be R is equal to V square by P. Now what will I do? I have to find R1 and R2 so that I can find my R required for in parallel. Now let's write down. My R1 will be, okay, R1 will be what? V square by P1, and my R2 will be what? V square by P2. Now V square is what? V square is 220 square upon P1. What is my P1? Is 100. So let's write down directly 100. So this is what I need to calculate now. 220 into 220 upon 100. And what will this be? V is common. So 220 square upon P2 is 60. So let's write down 60. So 220 into 220 upon 60. Now this is what you need to solve. So let's solve this. So cancel. So 22 into 22. So what is 22 into 22? When you calculate, or should I show you? Let's do that. 22 into 22. Fine. 22 into 22, we'll have to do 4. 2 2s are 4, 2 2s are 4, 0, 2 2s are 4, again 2 2s are 4, and when I add up these, it comes up to be 484. So your answer is 484, and since it is R, it is ohms. Okay, next for my R2, my this and this gets cancelled out. Now let's try to divide this. What will happen? Let's divide it by 2. 2 1s are, 2 2s are, 2 3s are, 2 3s are 6, 2 11s are. So 22 into 11 first I have to do, and then divided by 6. So let's do that. 22 into 11. What will it be? 2, again 2, 0, 2, 2. So after adding it will be 2, 4, 2. So this is 242 divided by 3. Okay, so let's divide this. This will be 3, and here it will be 242. Fine. In your exams, you're not supposed to do this, okay? In your exams, you need to make a right side column and then solve. Fine. Now, if I divide it by 3, what will happen? Here we are missing 1 0. We forgot to write 1 0. That is here. Why? Because when I multiply 22 into 11, it comes up with 242. But when I multiply 220 into 11, it comes out 2420. Okay. So here my 1 0 will come. Now when I divide it by 3, what will happen? 8s are 24. 0 0 2. Zeros are 0. Again 2 0. 3 6 are 18, and then 2 0 again 0.66. It will go on recurring. So what will be my answer here? 806.66 ohms. Let's write down that. So my R2 will be, I've already written it for you. R2 will be 806.66 ohms. Did you understand that? Now I have my R1 with me, which came out to be what? 484 ohms. I have my R2 with me. Now, what have they asked us to find? When they are connected in parallel. So, what is the formula for parallel? R equivalent is equal to R1 into R2 upon R1 plus R2. So, let's do that. So, since bulbs are connected in parallel. Since the bulbs are connected in parallel, what will happen? R equivalent will be R1 into R2 upon R1 plus R2. Now, you have to do this calculation very, very carefully, because if you make mistake here, your entire sum is wrong. Okay. So let's do this calculation. What is my R1 and R2? 806.66 into R2 is 484 upon 806.66 plus 484. Now, what will happen when I multiply my 806.66? Now, I can round off this part for my calculations to be easy, to 806.7. Why? Because this is a number which is ahead of 5, and therefore for rounding out, when rounding off I will do, this will become 7. So the result of rounding off will be this. So what will I use now? Instead of this, I will use my 7 here, and my 6 will go out. So I am using 7. 806.7 into 484, 806.7 plus 484. Okay. So let's multiply first the numerator, and then we'll add, and then we'll divide both of them. So we'll start the calculation. So what does my calculation say? 806.7 into 484. So when I multiply these two, what will happen? 7 4s are what? 28, carry over 2. 6 4s are 24, 24, 25, 26. Carry over 2. 4 zeros are 0, carry over 2. And 4 8s are 32. So this is my, when I multiplied by 4. Now I multiplied by 8. First a 0. 8 7s are 56. Carry over 5. Then 8 6s are 48. 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. So 53. Again 5 carry over. 8 zeros are 0. 5. And then 8 8s are 64. 64 without any carryover. Fine. Now again 2 zeros, and I multiplied by 4. Now I won't do that same thing again, because I know when I had multiplied it by 4, I got this answer. So I'll just write it down again. 8, 6, 2, again 2, and then 3. And now I start adding. So what will be? 8, 6 plus 6, 12, carry over 1. 8 plus 2, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Again carry over 1. 6 plus 5, we'll do 6 plus 1, 5 plus 1, 6, 6 plus 6, 12, and 12 plus 2, 14, 4, 1, 4 plus 4, 8, and 10. This is 9 and this is 3. So I've got my answer with one decimal place, therefore I put it here. So what is this? 390,442.8 upon what will be the addition of this? We'll just add it. 806.7, 484.0, 701,912. Fine. This is what I got. So 120. Now, after reaching to this point, if you have a doubt that now what will I do with such a big calculation, how am I supposed to divide this 390,442.8 upon 1290.7? This is really a big number. Now, I will give you a shortcut. When you don't have time to do this and you also do not want to lose your marks, you can do this shortcut. I am not telling you to do this every time, but this can save your time as well as your marks. Fine. So what will I do is, I will consider something approximately now. This is close to 3,90,000. So we can approximate it to 4 lakh upon. This is close to 1290. This is 1290. I can approximate it to 1300. Now see, your calculations becomes really easy and you will be surprised to see the final answer won't be very far away from the answer given in your textbooks. Fine. So we'll start dividing this. Cut. Now this will be 13 divided by 4000. Fine. 13 3s are 39. 1 0. Nothing happens. Zeros are 0. 100. 13 7s are 91. So here this is 9 and 0. And after this, it will be point, and 13 6 are 78. So till one decimal place, this is all okay. So what will I do? 307.6. So your R equivalent comes out to be 307.6. Now we are not done with our sum actually. What have they asked us to find? I. What have they asked us to find? How much current will flow in the main conductor? Which means I have to find my I. Now I have my voltage with me. I have my calculated R with me. Now let's look at the formula. I have my voltage with me. I have I with me. Sorry, I have to find my I. So which is the formula? I have to find my I and I have my voltage and resistance with me, right? So this is the formula which I can use. That's your Ohm's law. So let's solve. So using Ohm's law, what can I do? I have to find my I, so you can modify it as V by R. So V was 220 ohms, fine, upon your R is 307.6, fine. Now you have to divide this part also. Now again, point, how will I divide this part? Again we'll do the approximation, and which will not put a harm to your answer as well. So let's do 220 upon, this is closer to, if you can approximate, actually see here, if you can approximate 6 as 7, why can't you approximate 307.6 as 308? So I'm going to approximate 308. Now can you divide this? Let's see. Start dividing it by 4. I can see here 20 and I can see 8 also here. So let's divide it by 4. 4, 4 5 is a 20, 4 5 is a 20. Again, 4 8 is a 28. Sorry, 4 7 is a 28. 4 7 is a 28. And then 28 again, 28. And so it will be 4 7 is a 28 again. Now, I can say 55 and 77. Obviously, it comes in 11th table. So 11 5s are 11 7s are. So what is left with you? This, obviously now you can divide 7 by 5. So wasn't it easy than dividing this big numbers, then dividing it by 7 and then 5? So let's start dividing. 0s are 50, 7 7s are 49. Okay, and again 1 0, 7 1s are 7, 7 4s are 28. So this will go on continuing. So this comes out to be 0.71714. Okay, so after this what will happen? This is your I. So your I will be 0.714 amperes. Now, if you observe what is given in your textbook, they have given it approximately 0.72 amperes. So how different is your sum? I mean, how different is your answer from this and this? So it is really very close, and if you obtain this answer, I'm sure they won't cut your marks, and if only they'll cut half or 1 mark, and it is better than losing your sum directly from here. You will be afraid of the sum directly from here and you will not do the calculations further. I'm telling you, please do the calculations. They are a bit big, but then at least you will save your marks. Fine. So now let's move on to the next sum. And I will also like to tell you that I don't think such big calculations are to be expected in the exams. But even if they come, now you know how to tackle them. Fine. Now let's move on to the third sum. So what does my third sum say? Who will spend more electrical energy? 500 watt TV set in 30 minutes or 600 watt heater in 20 minutes? Fine. Now, we'll start by writing down the given part. So the given part says P1 is equal to 500 watt. For that, your T1 is equal to 30 minutes. Next, P2 is equal to 600 watt and then T2 is equal to 20 minutes. Fine. P1, T1, P2 and T2. Now what will you do? They have asked you who will spend more energy. Now when you look at the formulas given, you have one formula for electrical energy, that is power into time. So directly you can find your energy. So your E will be P into T. So for the first case, it will be E1 is equal to P1 into T1. P1 is 500 into 30. Now, also always remember that whenever you calculate energy, that is in joules. Fine. Since your energy is in joules, you need to always convert it into the SI unit, and to convert it into the SI units, you cannot use your minutes. You need to convert it into seconds, and you know when you convert minutes into seconds, you just need to multiply it by 60, and then will your answer come correct. So this will come out to be something joules. So when you calculate 500 into 30 into 6, now I'll tell you a simple way to do that. Forget about the zeros. 5 into 3, 15, 1, 2, 3 zeros. Into 60 joules. Now we'll do 15 into 6. What is that? 90. So 90. Again, how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 joules. So this is your E1. Fine. Now we'll calculate your E2 for the second part. So what this happens to be? P2 into T2. P2 is 600 into 20 into 60. Do not forget that. Into 60. So again we'll do that. 6 into 6. 36. I'm just multiplying with a different part. Like you can do it by 6 into 2 and then that into 6. But then it will be easy, I think. 6 into 6, 36. So 1, 2, 3. Into 20. Now you can easily multiply 36 into 2. So what is 36 into 2? 12, 1, 720. 1, 2, 3. I mean 72 and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now you tell me which is bigger, this or this. Obviously this is bigger one. And how did you conclude that? Because this is a bigger number. Therefore, who will spend more electrical energy? The TV set with what? 500 watt power and on for 30 minutes will spend more energy. Fine. Now let's move on to the last sum in your textbook. And what does it say? The electric iron of 1100 watt is operated for 2 hours daily. What will be the electrical consumption expenses for that in the month of April? The electrical company charges rupees 5 per unit of the energy. Now, this is how you can calculate your electricity bill in your house. Okay? And this is how it is calculated actually. So let's understand how are we going to go forward with this sum. First, we'll write down what is the given part. So what is the given part? An electrical iron of 1100 watt. So P is equal to 1100 watt is operated for 2 hours. So T is equal to 2 hours. But this is in hours. How will you convert it into seconds? 2 into 60 will be in minutes. And again into 60 will give me seconds. And after calculations, you can understand that 6 into 6, 36. 36 into 2, 72. We have already calculated here. This is 72 and 1, 2 zeros. So this is seconds. So T is this much seconds. Now, what have they asked you? The electricity company charges, okay, this is the extra part that they have given you. First, before calculating the energy per unit, you need to calculate it normally in joules. So as we had used this formula here, E is equal to P into T, we have to use it here too. So what is your P? Into 720. So what do you have to multiply? 720 into 11, nothing else. So 27027,297. Fine. 792 1234 1234. Now your E is this. Now they have asked you to find it for the month of April. Okay, they have asked you to find it for the month of April. How many days are there in April? There are 30 days in April. So your E for, we'll let it for April will be what? 792,000 into 30. Why I am doing this? Because there are 30 days in April. Now how are you going to calculate this? 792 into 30. So I'm going to multiply it and show it to you. Actually, you have to do it only by 3, not even 30. 6, 27, 21, 22, 23. So this is what I got. 2, 3, 7, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is E for April. This is also in joules now. Now what have they given you? The electrical company charges rupees 5 per unit. Now you know that this part, whatever we had calculated, is in joules, and we do not require that. What we require is per unit. Why? Because they have given us, the company charges it for this much unit. So what will we do is, you have to understand this. Now here in the formulas list, I had given you the conversion for 1 joule is equal to this much units. 1 by 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 units. This is how you need to convert your this part of joules into units. Fine. This is your conversion formula, and you need to convert this joules into units. So understand the analogy. 1 unit is for 5 rupees. They have given it in the sum, right? The electrical company charges rupees 5 per unit. So per unit means 1 unit. For 1 unit, 5 rupees. Then for this many joules, how much? This many unit, how much of rupees will be consumed? That is what you need to find. But before finding this much of units, you don't have your energy in terms of unit. You need to convert that energy in terms of unit first. So we'll write converting joules to unit. How do I do that? If 1 joule is 3.6 into 10 raised to 6, right? 10 raised to 6 units. Then what? 2376, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2376, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 joules is equal to what? So how will I convert this? Upon 3.6 into 10 raised to 6. And this will not remain units anymore, joules anymore. It will become units. Okay. So 2376 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros upon 3.6 into 10 raised to 6. This will become units. Now again, how are you going to divide this? I'll give you a short formula or a short trick again. 2, 3, 7, 6. This is what? 10 raised to 5. Because I've been calculating, I've been saying it again and again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 zeros. Therefore 10 raised to 5. Upon. Instead of dealing all this with point and all, I just take out this 0. I consume 1 0 from here. So this will be 36. If I consume 1 0 from here, what will it become? 10 raised to 5. I'll just cut out this 10 raised to 5 and 10 raised to 5. Okay. Now what have we left with? 2376 upon 36. 2376 upon 36. Let's start dividing. This will be divided by 2 first. So let's do that. 2 1s are, 2 8s are, 2 1s are, again 2 1s are, 2 8s are, 2 8s are. Fine. Now what will I do? Again by 2. So 2 5s are 10, 1 8, 2 9s are, 2 4s are. Now I can see that, is it divisible by 3? Yes, it is divisible by 3. 5 plus 9, 14, 14 plus 4, 18. Okay. So 3 3s are, 3 1s are, 2 and 9. So 2 9, 3 9s are 27, 24. So 3 6 are 24. Sorry, we did a mistake here. It was 3 8s are 24 and not 3 6 are. Okay. 3 6 is 18. 3 8s are 24. Now we start dividing it again. 3 1s are. Now is it divisible by 3? Yes. Because 1 plus 9 10. 10 plus 8 18. So 1, 3 ones are 3 6 are 18, carry over 1, again 3 6 are 18. So it comes out to be 66. So we know that now it is 66 units. Okay, it comes out to be 66 units. Now look at this analogy. If 1 unit is equal to 5 rupees, then dash units is equal to dash rupees. Now what will you fill here? It will be 66. So I will write it down again here. 1 unit was for 5 rupees. So 66 units will be for how many rupees? Now this will be calculated by cross multiplication. So this my dash equal to, so I'll rename this as x. So x rupees will be 5 into 66. So your x comes out to be what? 66 into 5, 330. So your bill amount, whatever they have asked to calculate, what will be the expenses for that month of April? So those expenses will be 330 rupees. So how will you write your total answer as? Total electrical consumption expenses. What you have calculated? Expenses. So total electrical consumption expenses for month of April will be rupees 330. So that's it. We are done with our examples from the exercises of the chapter Effects of Electric Current. Now I'm not saying that all these problems were that easy. Some of them were easy, some of them were difficult, but until and unless you practice them, write each and every step along with me, you're not going to get your perfect answers. Okay, so practice these calculations, practice the steps, and also by heart these formulas. These formulas are the key to success to your chapter Effects of Electric Current. So best of luck. Thank you.